Let's do this for the night. I'm drinking out of my Oros bottle. What matters now is the water element that we need to deal with. Stay hydrated, please do. The reason why I'm speaking about water, Jay, I did not actually even plan to speak about it, but let me speak on it. By the way, welcome to everybody that is here. Even if there's nobody here on TikTok, but I'm recording these on TikTok and putting them on YouTube. If it happens that you find any form of value in what we're speaking about here on this platform, please share it with others. A lot of us right now, we're going through a lot. I think we need a better coping mechanism than judging. I think judging is out of fashion. So if you find any value out of these talks that me and you, we do every day, and for what really, I got no idea. You know, so, but seemingly people tend to be loving what we're speaking about here. And we love you too, man. So this week, Kitahwaga topic it's a bit sensitive, guilt. You know, I normally make very funny claims, you know, but this one that I'm making, or what I'm submitting to you guys, is guilt is killing us. Bit by bit, all of us. You've had a bit of a brush with guilt. Baby mama stories, baby daddy stories, your past. You drank wine last night and you woke up feeling guilty because they said that you're not going to go to heaven. You don't eat eggs, and once you find yourself eating eggs at the certain time, apparently you know what happens. Especially when we have myths. Myth does not mean story that does not exist. No. Myth, it's real. But we'll get to that. You're feeling guilty. You decided to become a vegetarian 10 years ago, but all of a sudden lately you're craving meat. But now you don't want to eat meat. You know, you don't want to eat meat because conscious people told you that when you're eating meat, you're not going to be able to open up your third eye. Now shame, you confused. You know. Hey, Millie. So you're confused now. All of a sudden you don't know what to do because you joined a certain religion, you joined a certain group that were promoting certain values. But now you don't want to break those values even though they're not working for you anymore. Yeah, you might have decided to go become vegetarian back then because you were doing some conscious work, you know. Meat makes it very difficult for you to process your emotions. By the way, I just need to put it here. Because meat carries a bundle of toxic hormones from the animals that have been slaughtered or prepared. So when you eat meat, you're eating all those hormones, emotions of the poor chicken. You know? So what happens is you decided to become a vegetarian then. Now, you are now grown, you are a family person. Even when people are having barbecue, it's a braai, you're always sulking and speaking ill against meat. But deep down inside of you, you want to eat meat, but now you can't. That is how guilt starts. Guilt, it's something that just reminds you that by doing that, you're not enough. So if you take the word guilt and break it down, all it means is lack of self-acceptance. You want to smoke a cigarette? Not like I'm promoting that. You know? Not like I'm promoting anything. But sometimes there are things that are called cravings. You get a craving this is when your taste buds, you have around about like 47,000 taste buds in your mouth. So now, your taste buds is the way on how your body speaks to you. Like when you're craving ice cream, something in you should be craving ice cream. But now you don't want to eat ice cream because you don't eat ice cream during the week. You know? And now it always makes me laugh to be like, all of us somehow, even the woke people, which is the people that I like teasing a lot. I'm done teasing Christians. Me and Christians, we're not friends. You know, because now the more and more I spoke about Christianity, people thought that I hate Christianity. And really I don't. So I decided to take an enemy. I decided to take myself on because the so-called woke people or conscious, we're still trapped with a lot of shit. We're trapped with crystals. You want to do your ritual magic. You're waiting for the full moon. You know? Now the full moon doesn't show, or the moon shows up, but now it's clouded by the skies. As a result, you can't do what you need to do. The full moon is for... There are very different people on this earth. It's not only the people that pray. Some people do very interesting things. But all those things are nothing but means. They are not the end by themselves. That's what I'm trying to say. If you fell in love with crystals and you love them and they helped you then, it doesn't mean that it will be bad if you were to change. If you used to light the candles or you never used to light the candles, you'll always have that inkling. It comes from your heart. But the heart that is ridden of guilt, it becomes heavy. Now, this, obviously, to a lot of people, it might sound like a license to kill. You know, I'm not saying that all of a sudden now you need to indulge in things that you know they're going to be detrimental to your progress. You know, there are people that do very funny things towards this awakening journey. They call it, you opening up your third eye, you know. You want to become enlightened. It goes by different names, you know. So what we need to understand is all these things that you're looking at, they are nothing but extensions or an extension of yourself. So if I take a crystal, my rose quartz, nice crystal. If I take a crystal and that's a nice sound. Oh, the reason why I came on a bit early is because we are anticipating a shit ton amount of storm. So I wanted to record this video so that I can get ready for YouTube. So if you're here for the first time, you know the whole drill. You follow the brother. This shit is actually almost tiring. You follow, you like, you subscribe. Because it's a bit of a commercial, you know, this commercial stuff. But now the moderator is killing me that, when you'll just get there and you'll talk. You don't even remind people about retreat. You don't even tell people about this. You don't even tell, you know. So for me, because I know what's good for me, happy wife, happy life. You know. So yeah, let's get to work. What happens then is there are things that we grew up being told that they are taboo, not to be spoken about, not to be done. And funny enough, all of us have different stories. Somebody might have been told that sex before marriage is going to send you to hell. Because sex before marriage, apparently, it has a lot of funny titles. You are promiscuous, you are irresponsible, you know. So the society has set a standard against sex before marriage. So as a result, everybody has to fit into that. But now, you find yourself doing it. You know, and I hear you are indulging in sex before marriage, and you goddamn know that you shouldn't. All of a sudden, what happens is you start fermenting or cooking guilt. Because such and such said that, you cannot be able to do it. Now you start becoming your own enemy. This is how dangerous guilt is. Guilt is so dangerous that guilt can send you to your grave, bit by bit. The funny thing, why we don't pick it up, is guilt kills you in installments, you know. Maybe you might pay 5 rand today, 10 rand tomorrow. Some other days you feel very, very guilty. You didn't show up for your children's birthday, and people are calling you such an irresponsible parent, and you feel like you want to kill yourself. You know. Or here's the best one, which is coming from personal experience. Your family member dies. There are a few conversations that you should have had with them. I know for me, I mean, like, you know, I don't like speaking a lot about myself, but I find myself now in this situation and I'm thinking, shit, how am I going to get out of this? I have too much guilt. How am I going to get out of this? So for me, knowing me, you know, I decided to investigate to say, can I be able to reconcile this even if somebody has died? Because apparently, especially when a lot of our family members or our close friends, they transcend or they transition before we get our issues straightened up. So you're sitting there with this thing, you're like, whew, if only. Or maybe you are on the way and they pass on. Or, better yet, they called you to say come and you didn't show up. And now your ass is trapped up in guilt. You know, it's all locked up, bro. You don't even have an idea how you're going to get out of it. So me, I decided, okay, I knew a little bit about this, but I decided to go a little bit full on. I need to show you guys the book for that, if I can find it. Yeah. This is the book by Robert Rankin. The name of the book is Necrophenia. It is spooky stuff. You know, so this is what then I found. I find that even if you were to go to Google it, necrophenia, it seems like it's a science that Egyptians used to use. It comes from the whole element of mummification. Remember, the Egyptians were known as those people that will mummify a corpse, preserve it somehow. Remember the whole story about Egyptians? That is if you've been studying, of course, or even if you've been watching movies. You might have seen something that has to do with Egyptians. They love mummifying their corpses. What happens there, that's an art of animating a corpse. But there is a different, deeper way. And I'm getting all these from these books. That's why I'm showing you guys the resources. It's not like, you know, I know the recipe. I don't. You know. So what happens is, I find that necrophilia is an art of speaking to the people that have transcended. And I find this to be very interesting. My research takes me deeper. So it brings me back home to say, do you remember there used to be a drama in Ebitwa, Lisilo? Lisilo was a story where this guy with a one-page Raitwana was calling Lisilo to his bidding. So if the nigga wanted money, you know who will call. And Lisilo will come and terrorize everybody. There's a scene there where Lisilo goes and terrorizes Batwana Unang Slacha. There's a butchery. There's a whole beautiful story. Go check it out. I think you can find it on YouTube. Go check it out and have a laugh. So then I'm not satisfied, right? I'm like, yeah, it makes sense, but it sounds a little bit far off. What else do you want to tell me? Then this is what I realize when I study history, you know, especially from our ancestors, which is something that I'll compel you guys to check it out. Because when you study history, you have a platform of from whence you're going to operate. But now, If you don't know the history, you pretty much like fucked because you operating from the blank whatever and the rain starts. Let me just close the window. Hold on. I'm wiping my nose like I just did some coke. Not like I did. I'm trying to work something out here. I need you guys to confirm for me. Can you hear me? If you guys hear me, I think I can continue. I'll just wait for your... Is it audible enough? Cool. Let's have a party then. Oh, how old am I? Just take a guess. I suppose you're one of those seers. I've been inviting those kinds lately. It's not my type of crowd though, because they I'll tell you about them. Let me speak about this one first. What was I talking about again? Yeah. So I'm a bit, obviously, because I think a whole lot amount of us get to be deprived of the opportunity of mending it before somebody passes. So I duck and deeper and say, oh, it's a sign of necrophania. How does it work? Then this takes me back to science. Remember, I think it's according to the law of kinetic science or whatever. They say, or the law of thermodynamics, I think it's principle number 3. It says, energy can never be created nor destroyed. Energy cannot be created nor be destroyed. What the energy does, it just changes forms. For me, because I was investigating this, that caught my attention. Then obviously I went back and I thought, oh, okay, if energy does not die, so if my loved one has passed on, they really never passed on the other dimensions. Physically, their body, their heap of memory. This, according to the Hindu, they call it prana, not the pranayama, they call it anamaya kosha. This, it's a heap of memory. This is your... somebody put it very nicely, skaftin, where you got your goodies in. This is more like your pouch. But now we're going around treating the pouch like the money inside the pouch. So, but we'll get there. So that's why we need to be coming up with conversations like this, attending retreats, buying a book, sitting down and paging a book. Because the times that we're going through right now, they are calling for different solutions. The external world, I don't know if you've picked it up. The shit that we used to glorify externally, it don't hold water anymore. Yeah, back then we used to be crazy if you had big ass and you got curves, or if you're a man, you got herbs and you got muscles. Yeah, that used to, you know. But now lately, it's like, it's like, I mean, come on, bro. I mean, like, that shit is out of fashion. What we need to be doing right now is cultivating our energies, stopping all the energy leaks, guilt being one of them. So I found out energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So meaning my loved one never passed on. Oh, this is where the whole concept of ancestors come from.
What's an ancestor? When you go to the Oxford Dictionary, ancestor is somebody who once treaded on this third dimension reality, but now they transitioned, meaning the body went back to the earth, but something that animated the body is still alive. So you want to talk to your dad? Want to talk to your mom? Try it when you go to sleep tonight. Just say, moms, or whoever that you're rocking with. Why I'm sharing this? Because to some people, this might sound very relevant. It might be like, bruh, I don't know what you're talking about. All the people that I love, they're still intact. Good for you. So why I'm saying this? Guilt comes also as a result of lack of knowledge. Ignorance invites guilt. Guilt and ignorance, same WhatsApp group. I bet you, because I can tell you something. If now you know, even the movies have been telling us, thank you, Khaitsiriaka, even the movies have been telling us, we don't die. Even simple Wakanda movie, Chadwick tells us there in the movie, kings don't die, shit, we multiply. So if you want to speak to your loved one that has passed on, I just gave you a quote. you know? But now, the key to all this, love. You hear how simple that sounds like? It sounds so simple that you, with your PhD in sociology and masters in biotech, you feel like, this guy is talking some kindergarten stuff. For those who know, you know. And when you know, you just know. So the key is love. If you want to speak to God, love. If you want to speak to your ancestors, love. Well, if you're still fucking around with Christianity, cursing and speaking bad against ancestors, deal with that first. Because there is nothing that is more dangerous than half information. Because if you speak ill against ancestors, let me paint a picture for you. I just found it out quite recently, you know. So we must call them children. You got children, your children obviously bears you children, you know, a grandfather or a grandmother, whoever you are. I want to put this here, it's actually disturbing me. It's playing around. Actually, the rain has stopped.
To heck with this. Let me open the window. Nice. So you got children, right? Oh yeah, let's do this. If you here, man, make it bright for the brother. You see it's a bit dark here. So you'll find something there that when you click, it will want you to go to your bank account. But if your bank account is not standing in a stable way, we'll go with the likes. But then if the likes, you still feel a little bit, you know, here's a best gift for me that is. If we were to fully accept ourselves, forgive ourselves, have fun, money can't buy that shit. You can say whatever, you can come with your 45 million salary. you know, if there's such a salary, you can come with your 45 million salary, but nothing can ever buy you peace. You can buy a house, but you can't buy a home. You can buy the most beautiful bed, but shit, nigga, you can buy sleep. You can buy food at Woolies, the most apparently expensive, which is the dumbest idea. You can buy food at Woolies, but you can't buy the appetite. It comes separately, love. Peace comes separately, love. It's not sold together. This one, you buy it there, and this one, you buy it there. you know, so make it bright for the brother. Let's light the lights on. Oh, by the way, this wind. such a sucking host, you know, such open arms. But hey, man, if you feel like I'm a sucking host, go start your own channel. Hey, that sounds very cheesy. It was just a joke. If you're on YouTube and you don't take things too personally, or even here on TikTok, that is, if you've been listening to me for some time, you will know that I really, really don't. Whatever that I say, I don't mean it from the bad place. You know. So if we're good there, let's continue. So what happens is, the more and more guilt you fester, the more and more it swallows you and it envelops you. Because guilt, it's your monster. I don't know how long have you been feeling yours. Let me speak about ignorance and guilt when I was saying it's same WhatsApp group. Remember, I just told you that you can speak to your transcended people because energy does not die. Let's speak about ancestors, because a lot of people are still hung on the issue of ancestors, you know. They'll be like, oof, baloiba. You know, that's what people that go with ancestors code, you know, baloiba. I hope they never see heaven. I don't know which one are you talking about, but hey man, we're having a blast here. Imagine on TikTok. So, you got children. When your time is out of here, we all gonna check out, by the way. All of us gonna die. I don't know you understand that. Or how far have you pondered on that? All of us, we gonna die. And this is gonna be taken back to where we borrowed it from. That's why when you go to the funeral, the pastor will say, Mobu Mobu lehlabati lehlabati, meaning the lease period is over, you're moving on to something else. That's why in the East, death is celebrated. Oh, in the West, you know, hey man, when you come to us in the West, when you speak about death, oh my word, it's like, oh Jesus. But somehow we need to look at it from different perspectives. So let's speak about ancestors. Here you are, you get remembered, then now you go. Or you graduate here, and you go. Your children, are they not supposed to talk about you? And this is not me saying you should make a decision. I'm asking you, and you should be asking yourself, because I'm also asking myself. Are your children not supposed to remember you? So when your mom passes on, or when you pass on, you'd like them to take out all the pictures, your memories, everything. Is that what you'd love? This comment, I send it sharp to people's heart, particularly those that are speaking ill of the so-called quote-unquote ancestors. Because this is just a bastardized word. Sometimes you don't even know how to even explain it. Because now there's witchcraft here. There's spiritual attacks here. You know, there's like ancestors now, all of a sudden they get blamed because you never studied for a test. You failed it, but now it's ancestors. You know, so you don't even know what to even say. But now, here's what I'm saying to the people, or the question that I'm posing to the people that are speaking ill of ancestors. When you pass on from this earth, would you love your children to forget about you? Well, if you're good with that, we don't need to go any further. But if you have a problem with that, open it up concurrently with the issue of ancestry and you when you die. You'll formulate your own answers. But for those who rocking and vibing with them, you know, that other team, you know, there's this crazy team where we know that we're not praying to ancestors, but now we're passing our observatory. We observing them. Let me say you had that uncle that knew how to get girls. You know, everybody has them, you know. You had that uncle, you knew this guy, man. wherever where he was, there was always, ladies around him. The brother had it on, bro. So now he passes on, and they tell you stories about him, and you like ladies as well. Which story are you going to be operating from? You obviously going to be like, just like uncle. This is exactly what religion does. In the Bible, it says, God of such and such and such, God of such and such and such, God of such and such and such, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Shadrach, God of Abednego, such and such and such. It does not mean the people themselves, but what the people represented. I know that I'd love my children to remember me as that guy. Wherever way he goes, he's got books. Funny picture for a lot of people, because shit, man, this shit don't make money. You'll read 50 books, you'll come tell it to 5 million people, but only 2 people get the whole meaning of the whole message. And the rest are nothing but leeches that just came to eat for free. Because with me, this that I'm talking about, if it's something that is just a by the way for you, I would have failed. And you would have helped me, because you're thinking this is just this guy saying this good stuff, reminding me of who I am. No, I'm just showing you up the plethora of what we can become. The job is done by you. I can bet you. I can have these TikToks running for 10 years at the go. I'm on my 4th year this year. There's still people that still don't get it. And but it's okay, because this shit takes time. But you should not feel guilty because you don't know what the chakra is. You should not feel guilty because you don't know what the kundalini is. You should not feel guilty because you've done something that your church said you shouldn't do. Because guilt shows lack of acceptance. So people hate ancestors, and when you dream about, especially the deep Christians, whenever when they have dreams about their passed on people, they wake up, they pray. They wake up, they pray, they do it, they light candles, they open up Bibles. Oh, Jesus, fire. And now you don't even know what you don't even know what you're chasing away, man. Let's read, let's get information. It's very unfortunate that I'm one of the most unlikely sources of the information. Because a lot of people don't take my shit seriously, and I actually want people to be like that. I don't want you to be coming and listening to me here, like you're listening to a 3-piece suit pastor, we're gonna curse here, we're gonna have fun. I'm gonna be drinking water out of the Oris bottle. I mean, like, how low can I get? Just trying to show you guys that take fun along with you on your journey. Drop the guilt. It's not going to give you anything. We can sit and come with reasons, and I'd like you to do that for you. I'd like you to get a big shit ass book. Like me, my wife normally buys me small books, but I like big books. Let me show you how my scribbling sometimes goes. Obviously, I wouldn't want you guys to be reading shit that I'm struggling with. But you get something like that, whereby what you do is you document all your kak, bruh. My teeth, my ass. I don't have a job. I don't have a car. I drink too much wine. I buy too many shoes. These are things that you feel guilty of, right? You write them down. There's a lot. I'm obviously just giving you guys a bit of a tip of an iceberg. Because all of us are carrying a big bag of guilt. I know that I'm working on my shit, you know. I don't know how your bag looks like, you know. So what you do is you write them down. You're like, and once you're done writing all the stuff that you're supposedly supposed to feel guilty of, let's go deeper into them. I'll take one of the issues that might come up. Baby daddy. Or baby mama. Actually, let me take a much more sensitive one. Heaven and hell. You know what's written in the Bible. A lot of stuff that are in there, you have broken. You know? And then you know you have broken. Let's take the simple thing. 10 Commandments. There's my wife's book here, but now, because it's getting a bit dark, let's take the 10 Commandments. I shall not covet my whatever. I shall not do whatever. I shall not do whatever, right? You've broken all of them. At some point, obviously, you coveted somebody's partner. And don't sit there and try to be like, no, oh me, I know. Hey man, this shit goes on for everybody. And now, I'm trying to speak about it so that this is how now when you write your guilt stuff, you break it down. I got it from, there's a guy, Tony Robbins, that giant of a man. Back in the days, I used to listen to a lot of him and Jim Rohn. That duo, those guys, they will show you how useless you are. You know, you'll be sitting there listening to Tony Robbins or Jim Rohn, and you'll be like, whew, can I become that? Yes, you can. But depending on how far off you are. So now he had this thing, he called it the, I actually have it written down here. They call it the RBM method. Rapid, whatever method. They give you, what you do is, shit. Some of the things I was sparing them for retreat, but it's fine. My wife is not here, so we're here. Half the time she, you know. So you have this thing. You have your problems. You know. You got your problems, right? You got your problems. It's a lot. It's a list. I never get a man. I never get a woman. I never get a good sleep. They never gift me on TikTok. My children don't love me. Oh, my in-laws are driving me crazy. I think I'm being bewitched. There's a lot of stories. Everybody has. You'd be surprised. You'd be shocked out of your pants to be like, huh? You feeling guilty about that? Please. But to them, it means a lot. That's why I say to people, when we deal with other people, if you cannot be kind, don't deal with them. Right now, a lot of people are on the brink of suicide. We just never know. I mean, like, anything can happen. You know? People are just there. And now, this is so difficult to even speak about because it's a very sensitive subject. But I'm trying to break it down in a form of guilt to say, write your stuff down about guilt and tell me at the end of your list. I don't know how long will it take you. Let me see you write all the shit down. Guilt. Yeah, I'm guilty about I didn't see my children when they were being birthed. I never did this. Because everybody has a little bit closet. All of us do. And now you not accepting it, you getting yourself in trouble. Because now this guilt strives also in secrecy. It eats on you in secrecy, in private. Every time when your head hits the pillow, you start crying. Guilt is waiting there. It's like, I wonder what she's serving tonight. Or I wonder what he's serving tonight. But the more and more you keep it to the open, that's why journaling, it's important. Journaling is that thing of writing your stuff down. It doesn't have to be clean. You don't have to be like me with highlighters and rulers. And some days, my notes, they are very rough. I'll just show you one of the rough days. But this is my old book, man. Sometimes it might look something like this. Still, but this is too clean. But what I'm trying to say is when you write the shit down, what happens is there's power in that. Anything that you bring to the surface, it's like you naming it and shaming it. For you, this is a confidence that you hold by yourself. Sometimes when we speak about what we're guilty of, we don't like people being around. Some things are very sensitive. You are always constipated, and now you have to go on a date. Or you suffer from runny tummy, and you have to go to class at varsity. You know, most those classes in varsity, there's this quietness that the lecture halls harbor. You know, for the people that went to varsity, you will know, or ever, if you've ever been in a lecture hall, you will know that there's this quietness that the lecture hall harbors. It's so deadly. It's like some people died in there. You know? And now if you have a runny tummy, every time when it's quiet and the lecturer is not saying anything, your tummy starts running and crawling. Now that makes you feel guilty. Obviously, you don't want to tell people about. Some people are guilty. You might be having some older problems. Maybe your armpits, they never listen to you. Or better yet, you having sexual issues. And now it has to be kept secret. Because what would they say? Who fucking cares? Clearly you do. And to a greater extent, we all do. But the moment when, or the more and more we do the work, we get ourselves out of the clutch of community. What would they say? Fuck them. And not in a bad way. We can still be friends, you know. Or we can still be partners. We can still be family. Or family you can't change. Because sometimes some of the family members or the closest people to you, they'll make you feel like that. Especially the guilt. It normally comes from them, you know. And now it comes in large numbers. And when it shows up, you are unprepared because you never thought they would. Rome, this is what you do. My numbers are right here on this platform. Send me a text and let's take the conversation further. But then if it's for you personally, it's going to warrant to what we call a session. The session, my friend, has financial implications. Looking forward to hearing from you. It's a bit of a disclaimer. I know it sucks. But I'm saying it, moving to my next point. Sometimes we feel guilty for being blessed. I know this sounds very crazy. You're like, no, who do that, bruh? You, all of us do at some point. You feel guilty for being blessed. Let me say somebody gives you a skill of building cars, or a skill of doing this, or you acquire somehow a skill of doing this. Sometimes we don't want to show this skill because we don't want to be outskilling other people. We are afraid of becoming the bigger one in a room. You fall in love with somebody, they love you so much, they do exactly what you had in a partner. They buy you roses, they do whatever. You feel is too good to be true. And you flunk it because of insecurities. You're thinking, ooh, it cannot be this nice. Ooh. That is a guilt of success. And who hasn't suffered from it? Or who hasn't brushed shoulders with it? Nobody. All of us have. So whenever when good things are happening in your life, stop anticipating bad things. I speak like this because Mainly my TikTok sessions are for me. This is like journaling for me, you know. You guys just make it to be part of the supporting characters. Let me switch on the light. That's why I always come unscripted to my live sessions, because I'm speaking from my personal experience. I'm just mixing it with a lot of books. Don't let that dismay you. I know you're still gonna read. And then there was light. Oh, kind of some people are afraid of hand gestures. You know, you make a hand gesture, people are feeling like, ooh, oh Jesus. We'll speak about that as well. It's a science called the mudras. Oh, too much light. Yes, nice. So, guilt. When you harbor guilt because you've done something that is forbidden, I actually forgot what I was talking about, but let's move on. You've done something that is forbidden. Sex before marriage, for an example, or you've drank the wine, or you drank beer. Hey, my sister, you just make time, hey? If you care for something, you wouldn't even ask yourself when you're going to do it. I'll give you an example. You probably have a car. You love the car, right? So you make time to clean your car, right? So somehow, if we love things, we make time for them. A lot of people, especially in relationships, they don't make time for their partners. It's like with a flower. There's a saying that goes on like this. You don't have to ask yourself, should you water your flower if you love it? But if you like it, you can skip a day. But if you love it, you shit will make time. But if you think it's a, by the way, you know, you'll probably want to be like, why read? Why waste so much time? Well, clearly you're not meant for such conversations. But join us nonetheless. You know, we're going to have fun here. You might pick up something. This goes for everybody, not necessarily for my sister. Even on YouTube, if you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. If you guys haven't, please go subscribe. If you here on TikTok, follow the brother. Another one, please go check out my YouTube videos. I give a shit ton amount of books there. It's just that now we're speaking about guilt. I give a couple of bibliographies. Pretty much all my sessions, when I speak, I always have a book around me. Right now, I'm reading Richard Hawkins' Power versus Force. Half a shit that I'm talking about here, I'm getting it from that book because he has what he calls the scale of consciousness. I don't know who gave them the right to measure consciousness, if it can ever be measured. But let's stick with his theory. He has a scale of consciousness. He shows you guilt, fear are lower vibrational emotions, but love, acceptance, all the beautiful things are higher vibrational emotions. So now, your job is now to choose. That's what I'm reading now. Guilt. You have your list of guilt. At the end of compiling your list, I would like you to tell me, so far, What has it done for you? And now remember, you're writing your shit down. I'm not there. Nobody's there. You in your closet. You're like, I really want to kill this guilt stuff. You know? Because that's how sometimes guilt can piss you off. You know? That's why sometimes emotions, oh, not emotions. Yeah, I'm reading your comment and I got carried away. Sometimes guilt can do that. It can piss you off to a point whereby you can't even enjoy what you're supposed to enjoy. Let me give you a simple example before I get to the list. You going on a holiday with your friends. For the ladies, my sisters. You got like 4 friends. You guys are going overseas. Let me say you're going to Las Vegas. You're probably going to swim there. You know what they say about Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So now, all your 4 friends, they have well-stable jobs. They have big asses. They have beautiful bodies. They have nice things. But you, on the other hand, you compare yourself with them. As a result, you feel inadequate. Just for not having the ass. For the guys, if you don't have a beautiful car, you all of a sudden feel inadequate. You now gonna miss out the fun that people are gonna be having in Vegas because you'd be worried about your ass, your car, your nose. Ooh, I wonder what they say about my habit. Fuck them, because now remember, when you are on a spiritual journey, it's you against you. That's what you're doing. You're bouncing yourself amongst yourself. And the place that you normally go to is this one. The heart. The heart is where emotions are housed. Guilt is one of the emotions. So now you have your list, you write. This guilt for me has done me nothing but feeling guilty every day. Wherever I go, I always feel guilty. You always find reasons for you to feel guilty. Here's what I'm submitting to you. Hey, don't be like that, man. You know, people like, hey, who am I to stop people? If you want to go to Vegas and you don't even have a paying job, or if you want to buy an iPhone and your monthly installment equals to your salary, because that's what we do lately. We are aspiring for things that we can't even afford. It's a crazy, fascinating society. If Carl Gustav Jung was alive, he would look at this, you know, because he's a father of archetypes. He will look at what we're doing and it will be like, everybody here is going to hell. So, what you do is, we start having these emotions. What I'm postulating to you is the following. Instead of you feeling guilty about the things that you wish you could have done, things that you could have been at, take the same energy. Mind you, I'm not saying you should leave even your comfortable space. If you are in a toilet right now, you do it now. If you are driving home, you can do it now. But it's something that is very difficult because remember now, you're healing yourself. Instead of you feeling guilty about it, you now switch the emotion. Instead of guilt, you substitute it for a teaching. Maybe I had a child at an early age because I was being taught something. Maybe I lost my job, had to leave Joburg to go back home. You know, because this one tends to happen to a lot of people. You lose your job, all of a sudden now you have to go do the great reset. That's what they call it lately. Moving back home, they call it the great reset. And there's nothing wrong with that. Who said it's wrong? Why did you agree to it? Do you think killing yourself would sort it out? Just a question. Do you think ending it all will end your suffering? Go read Tibetan Book of the Dead. Tibetan Book of the Dead. I don't even want to speak about Egyptian because EA Wallace Barge actually messed it up there. But we'll speak about Tibetan, because Egyptian one is called Egyptian Book of the Dead, or Egyptian Book of Coming Forth by Day, or the Book of Coming Forth of Heru, or the Light, or whatever that you want to call it. So when you now read Tibetan Book of the Dead, they tell you that when a human being dies, there are a lot of things that happen. So much so that when I started studying this art of, by the way, they call it, what do they call it? Eschatology, that's what they call it. Eschatology is a study of end times, also known as a study of what happens when your body ends. What is next? Where does the soul go? Where does the spirit go when you die? I'm speaking to the people that like entertaining suicidal thoughts, you know. They'll be like, maybe if I just take myself out of here. This, obviously, it's notwithstanding if something is too much mechanical, because there are a lot of factors that play in people deciding on suicide. And it's a very touchy subject. So touchy. But amongst all those things that happen leading to the so-called suicide, guilt is one of them. Tibetan Book of the Dead tells you that when you pass on, you spend 39 or 49 days in what they call the Bodha. It's a holding abode. If you more into those studies, those funny studies, go check out the movie released by Pixar, 2021 movie. The name of the movie is Soul, Soul, Soul. It's a cartoon movie. It's an animation. You might take it for granted, but please go check out that movie. What happens to you once your body gets out of work? Your spirit self ascends. For those 39, 49 days, your spirit still does not believe that your body is dead. Ghosts. You know, that's where the whole story of that apparition is coming from, because the spirit is so intense, it wants to come back into the body. They call them the apparitions, poltergeists. Things might just fall around and candles might switch off. I get this from books. You think books are not important? You think judging people is more important than books? Sometimes you need to read a book and mind your own business. Whether they do this, ooh, did you see? Ooh, their shoes, they are like this. You know, people like that's funny things, you know. So I get it all from books. The Christians, they call it the purgatory period, or the transitionary stage. You just died, right? You died. Let me say it's Monday today. You die. Psh. You die wearing a yellow t-shirt. Like me. Or this one here. And my spirit still thinks I'm asleep. Because every night when we die, the spirit can be able to do the astral traveling. Because when you sleep, basically, you die. Oh, this light. Oh, my phone is actually going off 7% anyway. I hope you guys are getting something out of this. And if you are, show me how much you love me. Show some love, man. Get the lights on. We have the retreat that is coming for 2 nights. You know? And that shit, the price is so amazing. So show some love. We're still working on getting the nitty-gritties with this retreat story, because a lot as well has been happening quite recently. And now, tomorrow morning, my spirit wants to come back into this body. And this body is just like this. Dead. And the spirit comes, wake up, wake up, wake up. No. There's been instances of people that woke up from the morgue. There's been people that have been dug out of the graves. You get this from doing the research. Not from sitting in a meditation group. You know, you're sitting up there in a... You've joined up a meditation group, but nobody ever speaks about deep fundamental issues. We always say, Namaste. Life is good. But nobody ever says, did you read about this? Did you read about the comments? Did you read about that? Did you read about this? Did you research about this? This is how now you start knowing yourself. Partly from books. What guilt does to your body is more worse. Guilt. What guilt does to our body, it's so atrocious. It's bad. Let me show you how guilt affects our body. In our bodies, we have a lot of factories. You have a liver factory there, kidney factory there, spleen factory there, spinal cord factory there, central nervous system factory there, shit factory there. Very important factory. Shit. Very important. You think your excretory system is not important? Ask the people that suffer from constipation. They will tell you a story or two. That shit ain't nice. Ask the people that suffer from piles. You know these things that... Oof, painful. So you have the shit system there. You got all these systems. Your guilt, when your pastor says you shouldn't do it and you do it, or your mom said you shouldn't do it and you do it, or you said this and that and you did it and you said fuck it. When you entertain the guilt, it goes to your liver. That's where the guilt starts. Guilt, when it starts, once it has taken over your body, it goes straight to the liver. And you better believe it that guilt has very bad intentions when it goes to your liver. What does your liver do? Your liver, ask me as I suffer from. You see? And now some people are not taking this thing seriously. They be like, sorry, there goes another TikToker. Hey, Barnabas, time is calling for us now to snap out of it. That's why this retreat, the theme is debriefing session. Like, I'm part of it too. There's a lot of things that I'm learning that I never thought that I could do. I never thought I could hug my children because, I mean, like, I grew up, you know, a lot of us here, we grew up with those parents. Even them saying I love you was like, huh? Hey man, that shit sounded so corny. You'll be like, what did you say? So we grew up like that, particularly as people of color, people of black descent. This is what we're suffering with. And this is not me saying this is racism 101. I'm way past that. I'm talking about it to say, now you only learning that, oh, it's okay to say to your children, I love you. And when you say it, you look at them in their face, and they love it. And you're like, oh, so it had to take me this to learn this, to take that to learn this. That's why I'm saying all emotions, in as much as they can be bad, they're not really bad. Like guilt. Guilt is not really a bad emotion, but if it's too much, it kills you. Guilt can inspire you to write a book. Guilt can inspire you to start a TikTok channel. But now, what we need to know is guilt is part of the emotion. So emotional mastery plays part in this. But we don't want to talk about such conversations. Skomoto is much better than emotional intelligence. Uzalo, you can bet me on Uzalo. Actually, we don't even compete. Bruh, I'm nothing when it comes to Uzalo. Uzalo can beat me every day. Because now people, when you speak about these things, everybody just flocking. Be like, no, bruh, fuck you, man. You're just wasting your time. This is what then guilt does. You're looking at somebody at Uzalo, they have a Peruvian weave that you've always wanted. And you see the way how people admire her when they speak about her on Twitter. And you know that you should have bought that hair. Now all of a sudden you feel guilty because you actually even start hating the poor character. They don't even know you. These are actors. You know, these are poor actors. These people don't even know that you hate them because they have the Peruvian weave that you should have bought 10 years ago, but now you didn't buy it because your partner started getting this, and now you guys started getting divorced, and now you didn't get the money, you didn't get the Peruvian hair. Now every time when you see a Peruvian hair is a trigger for you. Guilt. And it feeds on us. It feeds and it feeds and it feeds. Some people are like a buffet when it comes to guilt. It feeds so much on them that it breaks their body apart. Because that's what it's here to do if it's not controlled. Hey man, I said that you should not be giving me bigger shoes. Bigger shoes are going to be too much for me. For the people that think this is helping them, show a brother some love, man. My phone is on 4%, but I think it can give me good 10 minutes. I'm like one of those pastors, you know. Even though I'm not a pastor. My wife is doing the God stuff. Me, I'm doing these crazy stuff. Pastors will tell you, it's not for me to decide how much you want to give to God. You know, if God has laid it in your heart, give to God. Just a joke. So, I actually forgot what I was talking about. You see, every time when I crack up a silly joke, it tends to send me, let me finish up with this. You have your liver. You know, your liver, it's like your chemical factory. That's what your liver does. Kasisutu ki sebit. This sebit is ox liver, sheep liver. Ooh, some people also eat pork liver. Ooh, people are strong, eh? And you get the liver. Kasisutu ki sebit. Sebit means bravery. That's what a liver does. Guilt feeds on the liver. And the more and more it feeds on your liver, you start losing your self-worth, your potency. You know, back then, there are days, I know some people experience it only when they're getting paid. On your payday. Have you ever seen the mood at the office on a payday? Woo! Everybody's so bouncy, right? Like, yeah, man. You know. But now, during the month, everybody's all gloomy and like, how am I going to pay my rent? I wonder whether they're going to gift me on TikTok today. I wonder whether they're going to give me this today. I wonder whether I'm going to get the promotion. I wonder whether I'm going to pay my rent. You know, but now come payday, you're like, what causes it? Temporarily on a payday, you feel superior because guilt has went asleep. You paid for the holidays. You bought your new phone. You bought your Gucci shoes. You can't wait for Sunday. They will know you. You be rocking up Gucci from head to toe, bruh. These people don't know who you made of. You know? And you'll be like, yeah, we're going at it. James, hello. If you're here for the first time, Dumela, follow the brother, show the brother some love. if you're resonating with what we're talking about, let your fingers do the talking as you go to your app. You know. But if you just came here and you in the deepest valley of your life, let's just chill around. We'll cry together. We'll laugh together. And we'll make it out together. But we don't have a society. We don't have a religion. We don't even sell belief. We're just a bunch of people that encourage you to read, study. You can join in the WhatsApp group. We read a lot in there. Let me close the window. Hey, Big Sana, thank you very much for that. I'm actually finalizing now, but I really, really appreciate it. This will not stop you or shall not stop you guys from perpetually checking out the videos, doing whatever that you're doing, man. Even if it's not this channel, just do something. Stop just moping around and having a pity party. Every day, you let in this guilt to feed from you. Every day, you don't feel adequate. You don't feel adequate about your body. You don't feel adequate about your smell. You don't feel adequate about your teeth. You don't feel adequate about where you stay. You don't feel adequate about this. 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 This is guilt feasting on you. It's like... And now you're angry, you want to get out of it. Psychologically, they call it a crazy eight. You angry today, you happy tomorrow. You angry today, you happy tomorrow. You angry, you happy, you angry, you happy, you angry, you happy. That is a crazy eight that all of us get ourselves into. Instead of looking what happened to us, instead of feeling guilty about it, ask yourself, what could this thing be teaching me? Why is it so important to me? Now, the longer you entertain the guilt, it gnaws and eats on your liver. Your liver is your poison station. If your liver is compromised, your body is going to be toxified. That you can guarantee. Your liver, if it's out of service because of guilt, that started in your head. Nobody's doing it to you. Nobody's doing it to me. We're doing it to ourselves. Ooh, this sounds so TDJXy, eh? I think I can take it far. You know? It's like, because that's what sometimes the church does. Church, all that they do, they just make you feel guilty. You're like, oh. But it shouldn't make you feel like that, man. Sometimes when people shout at you, it's because they love you. Kasi there's a saying, "Iring usitimi ngwana." I think it's also in the Bible. I'm not saying that you guys are children. You know what I mean. Because me and you, same WhatsApp group. I shouted you, I shouted myself. So you see, we're still friends. So you can come to the retreat. I'm not mad at you. You know? But let me finish, man. So what you're doing is, the more and more guilt you harbor, the more and more your liver gets compromised. The more and more your liver gets compromised, the more and more your body breaks apart. In different fashions. One day you might have an appendix problem. What's an appendix? Appendix is nothing but something that helps you with your breaking down the food. Appendix works together with your spleen. So if you take out the appendix, you're going to be prone to be suffering from constipation. Because appendix sends something to your stomach to break down the food. So no appendix, you'll be visited constantly by constipation. It's a side effect. But in the first place, the appendix was not supposed to be taken out. The appendix was taken out because the liver was compromised. So the poison was going straight to the appendix. What causes guilt, you might ask? Or what causes appendix when you are 6 years old? When you grow up in a family, let me say you get fucked up parents or good parents, even though these two things don't really exist because everybody's here for the reason, even if they're very, very, very messed up. Especially those that are too messed up, they came here to teach you something. The most messed up things in your life, they came here to teach you something. So now, you grew up from messed up parents. They were never satisfied. You get 80, we wish it was 100. You get your degree in sociology, they wish it was doctorate. You're like, what's happening here? But now you are a 6-year-old then. Degree then obviously doesn't exist. But now you'll get scolded like, Wana hayak reaching, like, children when they are at the kindergarten stage, they have this thing of picking up habits. I don't know if you've picked it up. They'll come speaking a certain way today. Tomorrow they'll come with a different slang. You're like, hi. And this is a 2 or 3-year-old. Or one day, they might come with a habit of eating ditimulana. It happens, they'll be gnawing in their noses. These are like that, the 2-year-olds, the children, they'll be doing that. And you as a parent, always your job. Hey, hold on. Hey, stop. Hey, do this. Hey, do that. This is what you do as a parent. You are building a society for your child. You should not curse. You should not eat in front of people. You should not have sex before marriage. You should not have a child out of the wedlock. They go on and on. But now when you're young, obviously, you get scolded. So as a child, you know that habit that you picked up, you loved it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have picked it up. But now, you don't want to do it because your parents going to go angry. Guilt number 1. So every time when your parents show, you know that you're not supposed to be stealing sugar. But damn, at that age, hey man, at that age, 6 years and below, these niggas are suckers for sugar. Now you'll be stealing up the sugar and you know that your mom is going to whip your ass. Utlo shapa. But the urge for the sugar is too much. Oh, I saw that we have a reader in here. I'll show you, I'll just share a bit of a book I shared earlier on. Criminal Behavior, a psychosocial approach. How does somebody become, sinister? How do you become a pathological person? Guilt. You feel like the world doesn't give a fuck about you? Your parents have been giving you pain for the rest of your life. So now to protect yourself, you become a psychopath. You switch off your emotions as to how do other people think. Now you're well on your way to becoming a serial killer. It's not really a good career, but who am I to speak against it? Because we're doing it every day with people that we are around. We always tell people, don't do that, don't do this, stop that. We come here on TikTok, we argue about, no, this religion is good. No, this one here, no, this one is better. This incense is nice. No, don't do incense. This incense is wrong. This Bible scripture, Isaiah 45, I'll give you the treasures of darkness. No, that speaks about Lucifer. Now somebody will come, will speak about Revelations 26:40. Now it's like, we like, where are we going? Like, where are we going? I've been speaking to you guys now for 1 hour and 30 minutes. I haven't sold you any theory. Even if somebody was to come and ask you after you get off this life, what did you guys really talk about? Nothing. I didn't sell you any belief. I didn't speak about church. Oh yeah, a little bit, they always at fault. But now, it's not only the churches that is always at fault. Even the woke people are always at fault. Now that you think you woke, you know the chakras. You burn nice incenses. I have a nice one here. This is a mirror. Nice, nice. And for you guys who think incenses are evil, go find something else. You know? Go. I'm actually even quite tired of trying to explain a lot of shit that I speak about here. But it's in good spirit. I'm done. Oh, liver. For a mother to be, or for somebody that is planning to have children, your liver is very important. So important that you got no idea. If you're pregnant right now, your liver is doing the most. Whatever the toxicity that comes from your placenta or from your embryo or from your baby, that gets filtered through your liver. But liver, in a midst of guilt, breaks. You feel guilty that you fell pregnant again? You feel guilty that they repossessed your car? You feel guilty about whatever that you're feeling guilty about. Entertain it for too long, your liver gives in. Now you're on your own. You start suffering from lupus, anti-inflammatory diseases. Your body starts eating itself. Your body. Once you advance too much to killing up your liver, your body starts eating itself. Autoimmune deficiency. Your immune system, it's out of service. Your white corpuscles, they went on a holiday. They're probably also doing the live TikTok somewhere in heaven. Being like, we tried to warn you about this guilt, but you kept on doing it. So now we vacated the office. Now you start becoming the enemy to yourself. You can't sleep. You can't sleep. You can't find love. You hate everybody. You hate yourself. You feel the world is out to get you. You go from church to church thinking